Hello and welcome to another manga spotlight. So this is the king of fantasy. It is an isekai, and it is a crazy isekai because it is basically Iori from King of Fighters getting isekai'd into a fantasy world. And the funny thing is, like, this is not like a doujinshi. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Where it's like, like a fan made manga. This is actually like officially licensed. Uh, I read about this like maybe last year. I think I read about how they were actually doing a light novel where Iori gets isekai'd, and apparently they did a manga adaptation of it as well. I really want to read the light novel, but I have a feeling that it's never going to come to the West, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is basically Iori gets isekai'd. So I'm a huge King of Fighters fan. I've always kind of preferred King of Fighters over Street Fighter since I was a kid. I don't know why. I think I just something about the characters maybe. Like I've always been a huge SNK fan. I'm terrible though at fighting games. Like I absolutely suck at them, except for Smash Brothers. I'm pretty good at Smash Brothers. Other than that, I'm terrible. And it's just I'm really bad at reading combos and not reading combos, memorizing combos and stuff like that. But I've always been a huge fan of King of Fighters. Iori has always been my favorite, with Terry being a close second. I always loved the Iori character. I actually used to dress up like him somewhat in high school. I used to have the bright red pants with the button down shirt. I didn't have like the little black jacket over it or anything like that. And I didn't have that hairstyle. But yeah, I did kind of copy his look somewhat. It wasn't on purpose though. But that's just kind of off topic. But huge Iori fan, and anyone who's been watching any of my manga videos will know that I read pretty much every isekai ever made. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to just review nothing but isekais. It's just that just happens to be what I constantly read, and just something that's easy for me to review. A lot of the other non-isekai stuff that I read is mostly licensed. Like another good one I thought about doing a spotlight for was The Way of the House Husband, but that's already like officially licensed and it's already somewhat popular for manga fans. So I figured why put a spotlight on that. I want to put spotlights on stuff that people probably haven't heard of, just to kind of show them some love. But anyways, King of Fighters fan, Isekai fan, so I had to read this. So let's just get right into it. So we actually start off with the ending from King of Fighters 97, the secret ending where we have like Iori and Kyo and stuff like that are taking on the final villain. What's his name? Orochi something. He basically asks Iori to kill Kyo, and Iori jumps up and it looks like he's about to kill him when instead he grabs Orochi and starts choking him and holds him in place and basically asks for Kyo to pretty much pull a Goku Piccolo move where Goku is holding his brother, I forgot his name, and Piccolo shoots the beam through both of them. So he already kind of basically does that where he's holding him and he asks for Kyo to basically impale the both of them. And Kyo charges up and he rushes in and he starts doing it, and all of a sudden there's like a huge bright light. And the bright light ends with Iori appearing in a fantasy world surrounded by a bunch of goblins. So he appears in front of all these goblins, and of course the goblins attack him. So he unleashes his powers and he uses his purple flames, and he does his 100 Shiki Oniyaki attack and basically vaporizes all of them. And it turns out that there's this knight who was fighting the goblins, and all of her men are dead. She's the only survivor. She witnesses Iori appearing out of nowhere. She witnesses his purple flames. She introduces herself as Altena, who looks a lot like Athena. And that's kind of like a running thing in this series, where we will see fantasy counterparts to other popular King of Fighter characters. So Altena plays a huge part in this. She's basically the second protagonist of the series. She kind of starts developing like a crush on Iori, and she goes like on his adventures and stuff like that. Anyways, she witnesses Iori, and she kind of tells a story about how the Demon King will arrive with the power of flames on the night of a eclipse, like a lunar eclipse, which just so happens to be the same time that Iori showed up. But she doesn't believe he's a demon king because to her he's a good guy. Like he hasn't done anything evil. He's actually protected her. He's, so she feels like there's something going on with him. Like she feels like he's gonna play a huge part in this world, but she doesn't know exactly what it is. Anyways, Iori passes out, and Altena gives him like a potion to basically heal his wounds and stuff like that. And it turns out that she only had the one potion. So of course Iori is someone who doesn't like to be in debt to people, so he helps carry her back to the city. And that's kind of where things progress from there. So like we have scenes where like he enters a bar and then we meet other King of Fighter characters, right? And we have like confrontations and fights, and Iori basically joining like a tournament and winning and being declared the hero, and then he has to go out and do adventures. So pretty typical Isekai stuff. You get the scene where he goes to a bar and then someone tries to start trouble with them. You get the scene where he basically you always have a tournament scene in Isekais. There's always a tournament at some point. And then, of course, the main character wins, and then he gets declared like the hero or whatever. You have the scene where he kind of joins a guild, like just basically cliche Isekai things, except for the harem part. Except there are moments where Iori's like rocking out and the girls are like swooning. Then you have like other moments where like he's kicking ass and the girls are swooning. So you have like girls swooning towards them, especially Altena. Like there's definite like crushing on Iori. But other than that, no actual harem, which would be really weird for Iori. Iori does not seem like the kind of guy who would be into harems. But you got a lot of stuff like this where it's just I kind of just laugh. Like I look at this photo where him just rocking out, and I'm just like, I know it's supposed to be cool, but it's just so over the top that I find it hilarious. I can't look at this image and not laugh my ass off. But yeah, so we have that. Again, we have like tournament scene. We have this really funny gag, I guess I would say, where Iori's watching his opponents, like when he fights them, and his opponents basically like they do crouch, they do like a step forward or a step back, and then we see like these arrows, and they're actually the inputs. So the characters, especially the ones based off of the King of Fighter, characters, are actually doing their moves, and they're doing the inputs for their combos, and it's kind of played off in this where Iori's like, oh, they're doing like a feint, like they're gonna feint stepping back, and then they're gonna lunge forward, when really the step back forward would be like the input on the controller to do a move. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I thought that was a funny way to kind of insert more like video game stuff into the series. So yeah, you have stuff like that, and you have again, you have a lot of characters like doing moves that you'll see straight out of the games. You have a lot of the characters that you'll see straight out of the games. You have quotes, like Iori does a lot of quotes from the games. There's even the iconic when he first shows up and he kills all the goblins and he realizes he's in the fantasy world. He does that crazy laugh that he's known for whenever he wins around. So it's a lot of fan service kind of stuff like that, for people who are fans of the games. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's King of Fighters. Well, King of Fighters, that's King of Fantasy, based off of King of Fighters. So, I mean, if you're a fan of Isekais, if you're a fan of King of Fighters, if you like Iori, if you just want to see just like a really crazy crossover, I mean, seriously, King of Fighters crossing over with Isekai. Who the hell came up with that idea? The funny thing is that I actually heard that there was actually going to be a Geese Howard Isekai, but apparently it got canceled. This is what I'm hearing. I know there was going to be a Geese Howard light novel. I don't know if it's going to be Isekai because it's like in Japanese, but according to like commenters and stuff like that, it was supposed to be an Isekai. So I was like, oh man, that would have been so cool, dude. Like Geese Howard getting Isekai'd into a fantasy world and just doing geese shit against like goblins and orcs and monsters and stuff like that. Like that would have been so cool. But I guess it got canceled, or at least it got dropped or something. I don't know. Like it kind of just disappeared. But yeah, King of Fantasy. I like it just for its silliness. Like I don't even think it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's a lot of fan the not like lewd fan service, just like video game fan service. Like if you're a fan of the the series, you'll enjoy it because you'll see a lot of like Easter eggs and stuff like that. So a lot of the fan service in that regards. But just some of the stuff is just so like over the top that it becomes hilarious. It's almost like a parody. I don't know if that's what they're trying to go for. Like maybe they're trying to do a comedy by being so over the top that it becomes a satire, but the over the topness is portrayed seriously, and that adds more to the comedy. Kind of like in the Naked Gun series, how Leslie Nielsen's character always plays like everything straightforward and serious, and that's where like, a lot of the comedy is from. Like everyone else is going crazy around him, but he's just so serious in his portrayal that it becomes comedic. I wonder if that's what they're doing here, because like I'm reading this and there's just parts where I'm just like I'm laughing because I'm like it's just so over the top goofy, but I fucking love it. But yeah, that's King of Fantasy. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. Next week I might do a comic book review. I went to I went to a used bookstore and I found a great Superman omnibus, which has like the first 19 issues of the original Superman, like Superman's first 19 appearances in Action Comics and in Superman, and it was like dirt cheap. Like it was like for under $5, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm buying this. So I might review that depending on how much like of that I get through, because I haven't been able to read any pages of it yet, but I might get to that. Otherwise, you guys probably see another manga spotlight. I'm really disappointed in comics lately. Comics are just, I want to enjoy them, but the only thing I can enjoy are like the back issues, like the old stuff. Like I'm reading a lot of like the more like older stuff, and like I'm having a lot of fun with those. So maybe I might just do retro reviews, because in the newer stuff, like I just don't care. Meanwhile, I'm reading a crap ton of manga, because manga is always amazing. Manga's always, because they just want to tell a story. They don't care about like any kind of like politics or message or anything like that. Plus, I mean, anyone who's read mangas, you can see how crazy and over the top and just weird some of the stuff is. I mean, you got shit where like a dude gets killed and then gets teleported to a fantasy world as a vending machine. Like, what the hell? There's one that I started reading where the dude he gets Isekai'd into a fantasy world as a hot spring, basically as a spa for like elves and stuff like that. And I'm like, how the hell do you do a series where your main character is basically a glorified hot tub? Like he can't. What? But hey, the Japanese managed to pull it off. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are watching this on YouTube or BitChute, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell for notification, leave a like. So I hit my goal of hitting 500. So let's see if we can get 600 by the end of the year. I don't know if I'm going to hit it, but if I can hit that, that would be amazing. And as for BitChute, I'm getting like no subs, but I do get a good amount of views, which is weird, but whatever. So if you guys can sub on that, great. But yeah, hit the bell for notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Dislike if you didn't. Feel free to comment down below. If there's any mangas, comics, anything like that you guys want me to check out, let me know. Like everything that you guys recommend, I always put it on my list. I always try to respond to you guys, but even if I don't get a chance to respond to you, I do read every message, and it does go, anything you guys recommend, I do jot it down on my list, and I just have to find time to get to them eventually. And who knows, maybe I might do a spotlight or review on one of those. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.